Hi everyone, I'm Charlie and I've just returned from the soccer and mountain race, known as the hardest bikepacking race in the world. After training for months in all conditions, from plus 40 degrees to snowy weather, I've gained a solid understanding of what you need to pack for your next bikepacking trip, so you're prepared for almost any situation. Whether you're just starting your bikepacking journey or already have some experience, this video is for you. I'll break down every piece of gear you need to make your adventure enjoyable, safe and fun while ensuring you reach your destination. From clothing to tools, spare parts, bags, electronics, we'll cover all the essential equipment for tackling even the toughest bikepacking trips. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to a free spreadsheet you can download to track your gear and see what you might be missing. It's a handy tool to help make sure you don't forget anything. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Clothing is a critical part of bikepacking. If you're heading into a remote area, having the right gear can be the difference between an enjoyable trip and a dangerous one. Make sure you pack enough to stay safe if condition changes, especially if you're riding through mountainous regions. I always recommend jackets with a minimum of 5,000 waterproof rating, 10,000 if you live in wet environments. Best to keep you warm during the night and can be used in the day if temperatures are extreme. Packable and warm, they are perfect for the evenings. I generally try to pack my warmest one just in case it gets cold. Pick something comfortable and ideally merino for multi-day trips. I like to have back pockets to stash snacks. Overpants are packable and cheap and can be a lifesaver in wet weather. I like those to sleep cozy in, something nice, packable and warm to wear. They can protect you from the cold, but most importantly, they stop you from getting sunburnt. Always bring a spare pair, it feels nice when you get to bed. I didn't believe this were effective, but I was wrong. They are a must-have for when you ride in wet weather conditions to keep your feet dry. Pick something comfortable you've used before. Some people rather bibs, but it makes it more inconvenient to go to the toilets. Waterproof gloves are superior to winter gloves and will actually keep you warm if it gets wet. Good to have when it gets a bit nippy. Never ride without one, and make sure it sits properly on your head. I personally prefer well-ventilated helmets for bikepacking as it can get hot quick. I generally go for photochromic sunglasses. Protects you from the sun when it's bright and from bugs when it gets dark. With normal sunglasses, you won't be able to see when the sun comes down. Make sure you pick something you can walk with. Bikepacking involves a lot of dismounting and walking. Countless bike setups out there, whether it's the bike itself or how you pack it. Everyone has their own preferences. I'll show you what bike I prefer and how I pack it. Personally, I like to keep things light and avoid heavy gears and racks. Depending on your route and the technical difficulty, you may need to adjust your setup to suit the conditions. Bike choice is very personal. Myself, I prefer drop bike gravel bike for longer distance, but really, any bike accepting 35mm plus tires can do the job. If you have an old hardtail mountain bike in a garage, it definitely works too. Make sure you've tested your saddle on long rides. Every saddle is fine for 2 hours, less so after 4. So pick something you have tested and are comfortable on. For comfort and puncture resistance, I recommend 35mm plus tires. Really, thicker the better. I stuff my food, sleeping bag and cooking stove in there. So generally, the bigger, the better. Here I put my clothes. The more space you have, the more you can fit if need be. So bigger is better in my opinion. And you can always make it tighter if you don't carry so much kit. I find the BOA style bag closure system most effective and secure. My electronics go in that bag. It's easy to access in case of emergency. My tools and day snack go into the frame bag for easy access, but also to avoid heavy load at the front or the rear of the bike. Depending on the route, I pack more or less water. It's your responsibility to check water resupply point and weather, but generally 3 liters is enough if there is resupply points around. Tent and sleeping mat are bulky and I like them out of the way on the forks of the bike. While one of the joys of backpacking is going off-grid, electronics are an essential for safety. I try to keep my electronics minimal and only bring what's necessary. Lights are super important. If it gets dark, you want to make sure you can see. I pack a light that's at least 1,000 lumens, otherwise they're not very useful for riding. Handy for the evenings. And depending on how lightweight you want to go, this can replace the front light. I use a model that's rechargeable, but that can also take batteries. If you pick a battery pack that's 30,000 mAh or more, you probably won't need to have access to power for the trip as you can charge your phone and accessories quite a few times. For people riding solo or in remote areas, I strongly recommend carrying a beacon or EPIRB. It saved me once and it could save you too. I use a Garmin computer for directions, but your phone can also work, although it'll use much more battery. Safety first, without a tail light, cars can't see you. Make sure you've tested them before you leave. Never bring a new cable as they're well known to be temperamental or faulty. Bikepacking often takes you far from help or bike shops, so you need to be self-sufficient. I have curated a packing list for off-the-grid riding that allows me to fix most mechanical issues on the road with no external assistance. I go with TPU tubes and specific patches as they're lighter and easier to pack. Pack a few of those for extra long trips in case something goes really wrong. Why would you not pack them? Useful if you slash a tire, they will help you get home. Chances of snapping a derailleur cables are rare, but they're never zero. Always have a spare hanger, that's the first part to go. For longer trips, pack a small bottle and use it every day or you're going to have issues shifting. Never leave without a good set. If you are running tubeless, this is a must-have in case of puncture. Similarly, if you're running tubeless, this can save the day. It will be helpful if you damage a tire. I pack a few spare bolts of the most common sizes in case something gets loose and falls during my ride. Handy for many things, but mostly to bend disc brakes back. This kit can help you get home without having to take out your cassette. For ultra long trips, more than a week, pack an extra few sets in case you wear them off. A spare one of those can be very handy. If you're hardcore, you can pack that and fix a slash tire with it. Better combined with a tire boot. A small cloth will do wonders to your chain and moving parts on your bike. I always look for more space to fit stuff on my bike, and those handlebar multi-tool are awesome. It fits in an unused part of the bike, which means I don't have to store them elsewhere, and they have a chain breaker on it. I like pumps with a retractable hose. I found them easier on valves and less likely to malfunction. Camping can be as comfortable or as rugged as you want it to be. From sleeping mats to hammocks, there are plenty of options to choose from. In wet environments, a good shelter can mean the difference between waiting out a storm or needing to be rescued. Check which temperature your bag is rated at, and don't cheap out on this, you'll keep it for years. Inflatable is smaller, but packable is probably more reliable. Take your pick. Tent choice is quite personal. I've gone with something ultralight using a single pull. I don't regret it, but it's definitely not the most spacious or comfortable as I am 6'2". But generally, the bigger the pack size, the harder it is to fit on the bike. So think about your tent placement before you buy it. I picked one you can screw on any water bottle. It's great to drink in any stream or water source in the wild. If you packed it in, you can pack it out. Bring a Ziploc bag for rubbish. I packed with me a cooking kit incorporating a stove and canister, a lighter, lighting stick, and a spork. Having a hot meal at the start or end of the day really makes a difference to morale. To me, it's worth packing. Depending on the length and remoteness of your ride, you might not need to pack much food. However, keep in mind that during your adventures, you typically eat more than you expect. Running out of food can quickly end your trip. They work well for dinner. Nice to have something warm at the end of the day. Those are really effective when you're feeling low or when you need a boost at the end of the day. Warm, quick, and perfect for breakfast. Bikepacking can be tough on your body, and without proper care, you'll quickly develop sores, rashes, and other unpleasant conditions. Make sure you take time to clean and look after yourself at the end of each day. Saw your toothbrush in half to prove you're a serious backpacker. Keep your fangs healthy. Mosquitoes can carry bad diseases. The less bites, the better. Nothing worse than dry lips. Sunburns are no joke. Protect yourself with 50+ FPS sunscreen. This is good if you live in a very sunny area. When nature calls, you gotta answer. Don't forget your roll and use it sparingly. Bar soap is the most convenient way to wash yourself at night. It's important to carry medicine that can help you in tricky situations, especially if you eat or drink something questionable. The list I share is personal to me, but always consult your doctor before using any medication. Paracetamol, clinical capsules, anti-diarrhea medicine, ibuprofen, anti-inflammatory tablets, antibiotics, antihistamine, and iodine tablets. Steri strips, sterile dressing, antiseptic wipes, antiseptic cream, strapping tape, band-aids, teeth gel, eye drops. A foil blanket is very important. It might be your last shelter if things go horribly wrong. They're very efficient and very light. Pack one. There you have it, a comprehensive list of gear you'll need for your backpacking journey. Of course, this is a complete kit designed for long distance rides and tough conditions. I didn't have half of this gear when I started, so depending on your experience, budget, and how far and remote you plan to go, you can tailor this list to fit your needs. Don't forget to check out the spreadsheet in the description to start building your own bikepacking kit. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or reach out on Instagram. Stay safe out there and enjoy the ride.